Hi, welcome to Improve Work podcast. Here you'll find resources to level up your leadership role and create the team that you want. It's Daniela here. Feel free to ask me questions about today's episode's topic. Also, if you like me to speak about a specific topic, let me know. You'll find my email address in the description of this episode. I hope you enjoy it and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. Hi there. Today we'll talk about achieving role clarity in the workplace. And we'll explore why it's important to clarify employees' role, offering practical insights, examples, and strategies to assist you in establishing clear expectations and well-defined roles for your employees. First, let's discuss about the most common situations when employees' roles have to be clarified. A first situation is when the company has a new member. In this situation, the new employee has to know what is his role or her role in the company, and on the other hand, the existing employees or the old employees have to know what role has this new person in the company. In order for a new employee to know his or her role, you have to go through some steps. The first step starts from the recruiting and selection process by establishing what you want to accomplish by hiring a new person and what this person's role will be in the company. Based on the activities and responsibilities that this new member will have, you can then establish what should be the skills, competencies, and characteristics of the new member. By doing this, you define the role of the new employee. You set some expectations and the position of the new person in the company, including the work relationships that this person will have with other members. And this will also help you to look for the right candidates for the job. If the job requirements are not well defined or are not proper for the job, the recruiting and selection process will be more difficult and you may not hire the right person. And this is just because you didn't define well who the right person for the job is. The second step is to make a detailed and accurate presentation of your expectations from the person who will be hired to the candidates you interview. It's not enough that you clearly know how the new person should be and what this person will do in your company. The new person has to know as well. Making this detailed presentation to your candidates will create the conditions for you to observe and know the candidates' reactions and responses related to the role they are expected to play in your company. Some of them may be confident that they can meet the job requirements, while others may have doubts or dislike certain aspects of the role or other types of reactions. All these are information that will help you to take the right decisions in the selection process. When the job is not well presented and some aspects are hidden, what's happening is that you take more risks with the new employee. They may not like the job aspects that they didn't know about and decide to leave, or they will feel frustrated and have resentment because of these aspects. So, for example, a company that hires a secretary but omits to mention that besides managing the correspondence, the company supplies meetings and other things, she has to make some cleaning activities that normally are done by a janitor, may end up with a frustrated employee who does these activities poorly or doesn't make them at all. And this company's management will end up being frustrated by this employee too. Or another example, if a company hires a recruiter but doesn't discuss the tools or the budget that is available for recruiting activities, the new employee may be disappointed by these aspects. He may love the recruiting role and wanted the job for its responsibilities, but didn't realize that he doesn't have a budget to post job ads or doesn't have proper interview conditions. Some candidates may be open to do their task in these conditions, others may not. The old or existing employees have to know what role has the new employee in the company. A part of the integration process is informing the existing employees about the new member and his or her responsibilities. You can do this through a welcoming email addressed to all the employees, through an in-person meeting with all the employees if your team is not very large, or with a part of the team when this is larger. You may want to give special attention to presenting the new employee role to those employees with whom will have to collaborate or with whom will have common tasks. This includes employees who work in the same department as well as those in other departments. Usually, when a new member is announced, the existing members have questions about this new member and they may have fears or worries that this new member will affect their own roles. Answering their questions and worries in advance before these have time to grow or wrong assumptions are made will help them have a more accurate understanding of this new person's role. Another reason why it's a good practice to clarify the new member's role in the company is for the old or existing members to know how to behave and interact with this employee. A role requires certain behaviors and actions not only from the person who holds the role, but also establishes to a certain extent the relationships with other members. So, for example, if the new employee is responsible for managing vacation leaves, existing employees will know that this employee may be involved in their communication or discussions on this topic and that he is entitled to do so. Let's go further and discuss about a second common situation when the employee's role have to be clarified. And this is when they work in a project or in a team. When employees have to work together to accomplish a common goal, their roles have to be clear for them to work efficiently. More than that, they have to accept their roles. Can you imagine 3 marketers assigned to collaborate on a new product launch campaign without clear distinctions in their responsibilities? Well, in this scenario, they may lose time and energy deciding who will do what, they may compete for the same task, and they may assign tasks between them in a way that doesn't reflect their strengths or skills. Conflicts may occur, the quality of work may suffer, and is a high chance that the deadline will be missed. Have you ever experienced this with your employees or yourself? It's not a funny thing. Even if you assign, for example, 5 employees to come up with an idea for a certain issue, you need to assign moderator for their discussions that will make sure that the rules for the discussions are respected and keep the discussions on track. Otherwise, this may be dominated by 1 or 2 employees who impose themselves on others, or by those who have more powerful positions, or the members may criticize each other. They may lose time on subjects that are not relevant for the issue, and so on. The employees have to accept their roles and the other members' roles as well, especially when they work together in a team, but in general too. If a member is not pleased with his or her role in a project, he will not engage in it. Much of the acceptance of other team members' roles come from how members perceive the fairness of task assignments. If they think that roles should have been different assigned, they will be frustrated. They have to understand why the roles were assigned in a certain way and to be okay with the criteria. If these criteria are subjective or biased, they will not be well received. So, for example, if a person is named team leader but is less skilled and experienced than other members, there are great chances that this person's role to be rejected by the team members. They may question and criticize this person's decisions and behavior, they will not engage in the actions decided by this person, and so on. Even if it is known that a leader doesn't have to know everything to be a great leader, if he is not accepted for whatever reason, the team will not function efficiently. By having a good understanding of your employees' skills and competencies, of their expectations regarding tasks and responsibilities, and setting clear and objective criteria for task and role assignments, you will succeed to gain their acceptance. And the third common situation when employees' roles have to be clarified is when an employee has a new role, whether it is in addition to their existing role or a completely new position. The role expectations have to be discussed and clarified. And here is almost the same process as with a new employee, meaning that the role has to be clear for the employee who has the new role and also for the other members of the company. Alright, let's go further and discuss how the employees contribute to defining the roles in the company. Even though the employer defines the employees' roles initially, people don't fit 100% in their expected roles. They have their own personalities and their own traits. Their skills and competencies may be lower or higher than the level of competencies required by the job at different moments of their development. They bring their own experiences, their past definitions of certain roles, and they come with ideas. Often, people negotiate the roles, questioning current expectations or requirements. They may propose new activities or they may do things in unexpected ways. Also, a role can be defined 100%. There will always be free areas where the employee will have to choose how he or she will act, even if this means that they have to decide to ask for guidance. And this is true also for jobs with a high level of autonomy, because the areas where the employee can take decisions on their own are pre-established, so they are predefined. So, for instance, a senior content writer who is responsible for creating engaging content for the company's clients that receives the task to write a blog post about a new product of a client, but who gets limited details about the client requirements, may choose to work with what he got or to ask for more detailed information about the blog post. Sometimes these undefined zones are vulnerable points where wrong decisions can be taken. If the senior content writer mentioned before decides to work with the information that he has, but then after he finished the blog post finds out that the client wanted something completely different, he wasted his time and energy. How many times have you told an employee, "You should have asked"? Okay, let's talk more specifically about why it's important to clarify your team members' roles. So first, the clarity of employees' roles impacts their relationships and their collaborations. Employees may make incorrect assumptions about their roles if they are not clarified. For example, in a group meeting, there could be two employees who each assume that they have to lead the meeting. You can imagine that these two employees may irritate each other, affecting the way they interact and work with each other, and affecting the team atmosphere and environment. how clear are the employee's role impacts their performances. To conduct a performance evaluation, performance expectation must be established and clearly communicated to the employee. Have you ever been in a situation where you told an employee that you expected them to do certain things and they looked at you surprised? They didn't even think about it. In this situation, they may think, well, I didn't know that you wanted me to do that or behave in that way, or other similar thoughts. Obviously, when the employee knows what you expect from him or her, the chances for him to do what you want them to do are higher. When the employees know clearly the goals, the destination, it's more likely for them to reach them, or at least that they will make efforts to go towards them. How clear are the employees' role impacts also the time spent on a task. The work time will be better used when the employees don't waste time discussing or arguing about who should do certain things, when they don't make wrong assumptions that lead them to poor decisions. As shown before, the employees' confusions related to their roles consume their time and energy and the company's resources. Also, clarifying your employee's role will help you establish clear accountability and ownership. When the roles are clear and well defined, it becomes evident who is accountable for specific tasks and assignments. This clarity eliminates any ambiguity or confusion, ensuring that each person understands their own responsibilities and obligations. It also prevents the unfair bordering of other employees with tasks that do not fall with their designated roles. And a transparent and well-structured allocation of responsibilities promotes a more efficient and harmonious work environment. Alright, let's talk how you can clarify your employees' roles. So we already touched this topic, but let's see more specifically. So first thing that you can do is to have a clear and detailed job description. A job description serves as a fundamental tool for clarifying and defining a job role within an organization. It outlines the key responsibilities, duties, and expectations associated with the position. By providing detailed information about the specific tasks, qualifications, and skills required, a job description effectively communicates what the role entails and what is expected from the person occupying that position. It helps to set clear boundaries and parameters, enabling employees to understand the scope of their responsibilities and desired outcomes. Another way in which you can clarify employees' roles is communicating your expectations in detail. A job description is necessary, but it's not enough for an employee to understand their role. So take the time to explain in details what you expect from your employees. It's a good time investment. Consider the most common situations where role clarification is needed, as specified earlier, and dedicate time to manage and discuss role expectations. Another way in which you can clarify employees' roles is by encouraging them to communicate with you about their concerns, about their worries, or about their questions related to their roles. A simple question can bring clarity and position an employee's efforts in the right direction. In some cases, employees may refrain from asking questions because they are afraid of their leader's reaction based on their past experiences. Some questions may be considered stupid questions or as a sign of lack of competencies. Have you ever encountered these kinds of situations? That's why it's important for you to be open to these kinds of discussions. And another way in which you can clarify your employees' roles is by reassessing their roles periodically and adjust them when needed. The reason for changing the employees' roles may be various. In some cases, their levels of competencies may change over time, or new tools and technologies may be used in the company. The team may have a new structure, new activities may be required in the company, and so on. In conclusion, clearly defining and communicating roles and expectations is essential for the success of any company. It helps employees understand their responsibilities and how they fit into the larger picture, leading to increased productivity and job satisfaction. Okay, this was all for today. Let's make a short recap. So, we talked about three most common situations when employees' roles have to be clarified, and these are when the company has a new member, when employees work together on projects or in teams, and when an employee has a new role in the company. Then we talked about how the employees contribute to defining their roles in the company, about why it's important to clarify your team members' roles, and how you can clarify your employees' roles. Alright, I hope this is helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the courses and the learning resources that are specified in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon.